All right, everybody, this is Scott Voak, and I am starting a series with neighborhood experts. What I want to do is bring you people who either live in or do business in North County that can help you with things that are home related, save you money, just make your life easier. And today I've brought on Elizabeth Leahy, who is the interior designer I have used for the last 12 years to help me prepare homes for the market. So she goes into homes and looks at it and says, this needs to go, this can stay, and basically helps us maximize the sales price. But she does a lot else, and I think it could help all of us. So Elizabeth, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So I know what you do from the standpoint of I take you to a home I'm trying to sell and I'm like, fix this. But what else do you do? Tell me, what does an interior designer do that might be able to help, the average homeowner from both, new home design and remodel?
A lot of times what I end up coming in and doing is really trying to kind of pull all sorts of parts and pieces together in a home to make it one functional, aesthetically pleasing, but also a comfortable place to kind of come home and be relaxed in that regards. I save a lot of people a lot of headaches because they're not running all over town trying to find all the material that they're looking for. I save them a lot of money because they don't make all these mistakes where they're redoing things or redoing things, or they have the wrong sources and are paying too much for something that I could get done for significantly less. So it's really I kind of come in as an advocate. I work with either the contractor or the architect, whomever's involved, the homeowner, the builder, and make sure that your money is being spent the most wisest in all the various ways. I can find things significantly less than most people can because of the resources that I have, and then I pass those savings on to clients. So it's really a kind of a broad spectrum, but first I simply start with what is it that you don't like about your space. If it's new, obviously we're looking at a set of plans and deciding how you want to use that space and how do you want to best use it, and then more importantly, how long do you plan on staying in that house? If this is going to be your retirement home, you can go to town on that. Have a little bit more fun with the areas that you want to work on. Now, as a real estate agent, you probably don't want me to hear you saying that, but if you want to stay in a long period of time, you should enjoy it. And
Absolutely.
make it your space, but still have some constraints in mind in terms of just the overall look of the space. But that's the first thing I always ask people: how long do you plan on staying here? Because if you're plan on making it pretty to sell, then we're going to do very simple, clean things to the house to make it marketable. If you plan on staying there for the next 5 or 10 years, maybe we'll go into like medium priced elements. If this is where you're going to retire and you want to go to town, then we go and find all the pretty things that you've ever dreamed of, and then still have a budget that you have to stay within, because you can't just overspend on a house either.
Right. Okay. So what's the range of things? If we look at, excluding me, because I bring you in for very small projects just to get it ready for sale. But if somebody's bringing you into their home, and let's say it's a remodel, what's the range of what they'll bring you in from the lowest end to the biggest redo? What's that range look like?
Sometimes it's just simple as a color consultation, and then maybe looking at materials that the homeowners have already picked out and said, okay, this is what we're thinking of doing. How do you think this all works? And that's really just a design consultation where I'm coming in and looking at the elements that you want to work with, all the way up to me coming into the space, doing a space plan, doing elevations, getting bids from contractors, getting bids from furniture manufacturers, all the way to, putting the dishes in your cupboards. So there's a huge gamut, and I don't have, I only take $100,000 projects. It's just whatever really works for the client and what they're working with. But also it's a connection, because I'm working in someone's home. Both that person and I need to get along. Because I will come in and ask you to do things you don't necessarily want to do. I'm going to suggest things that maybe you haven't seen before, and most people's response is no, because they're like, I don't want to do that. And then I'll show it to you again. And if you the third time don't like it, then I back off.
Okay, so I can vouch for that, because several years ago we were repainting our house, and I asked you to go in and rein my wife in. And I said, please limit the house to 3 colors. And as you left the house, you called me and you were like, I'm sorry, I tried. And yeah, I've got a teal accent wall in my living room that I'm like, how the heck did that get there? Okay. So other than the shortcomings you had dealing with my wife, what are some of the biggest mistakes you're seeing people make when they're upgrading or even building a home? What do they do that comes back to haunt them?
Things that are really, really trendy is picking materials that are, current at the moment. I think people spend a little bit too much time on Instagram and Pinterest, and they pin everything to death and look at all the things that they could possibly have. You really need to go back, and I hate to say this, but you really need to have foundational elements that are kind of classic colors throughout the house. If you want to go to town and have something that's a little fun, do it in your powder room. That's where you're allowed to have a little bit more fun in there. Maybe throw something crazy on your laundry room floor, but no one really wants to see bright blue tiles in the master bathroom. That's just, no one wants to see that. I'm sorry, you're going to put it in, someone's going to rip it right out. So it's just trying to pick elements that are timeless, that are a little bit more classic. If you want to have a little fun and throw in some color, do it in your towels, do it in your accessories, do it in the paint. Paint is cheap. Just don't do it in the tile. Don't do it in the light fixtures and anything that's basically attached to the surface of your house. Do those things as classic as you possibly can. If you want to bring in, like right now, gold is really popular and copper is really popular. I saw it 7 years ago when I was in Europe, but it's all the rage now. I do it in small bits and pieces, like a little accent on some of the doorknobs, not your faucetry, because those are expensive to replace, not anything that's big and huge. A little side table with a little bit of gold on it, that's $100. Who cares? It's just simple little things like that. Going and spending $1,000 on a light fixture that's gold, in about 3 years, you're going to want to rip it out.
Okay, I can do you one better than that. Our company had a house listed in Rancho Santa Fe, and it was worth about $3.5, and the seller wanted $4. And the reason he wanted $4 is because he had 10 bathrooms, and each of the bathrooms had a blue bidet in it. Like, there's no other homes in Rancho Santa Fe with a blue bidet, and we're like, that's not really a feature. But 4 months later, the price came down, and we sold it to a guy from Texas. And this cattle rancher is walking through the house during the inspection. He's like, this is a great house, but I'm going to have to rip out all of those drinking fountains. So, kind of stick with what's mainstream. Okay, so going to what does it cost? If I am, I'm an engineer, I've got a MBA, but I've got absolutely zero taste in color or design. And if I want to hire a designer to come in, help my house look good, do things, what does it cost to hire you? What are the fees typically?
Typically what it comes down to is it's an hourly rate. It's $125 an hour. But what I do is I come out and I meet with the person and I look at their lifestyle and their choices and the things they want to do and look at the budget of what they're trying to spend and then come up with an average. Okay, when I've done a space like this, it's taken me 20 hours, it's taken me 30 hours. And I give people 3 options from whatever it is that we're looking at, and they have a set point as to what it may cost them to get the materials done. I would say the average person maybe spends about $1,500 to $2,000 to do several rooms in their house. And that's simply because I have the resources, I can get the material pretty quickly, and I know where to get it from. And then I pass those savings on to the consumer too. So I've had quite a few clients say that whatever they spend with me hourly, they get back with the discounts, with the little hidden places that they've never heard of before, and they don't have any headaches.
Okay, so like if you're buying a bunch of furniture, you're getting it a whole lot cheaper than I'm going to get it walking into Jerome's, and so I get a little bit of savings there, and that helps cover some of your cost.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. And then my house doesn't end up with a teal wall. That would be kind of cool. All right. Well, okay. I've got a bunch of other questions, but I think we're out of time. Can you really quickly let people know how do they get a hold of you if they want to reach you? What is your email address?
Sure. It's Elizabeth at Leahy, which is Leahy, interiordesign.com. And my website is the same. It's leahyinteriordesign.com. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Pinterest. Every site you can find on house, I'm there. And then my phone number, the old fashioned one, is
Old fashioned way.
858-229-2861.
All right. Hey, I want to get together with you again in a month or two and record. I've got like 4 or 5 more questions, but thank you very much for coming on tonight. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Okay.